Yo, what is up everybody? Jumping here, and today I'm going to be giving you a full walkthrough of the Vault of Glass on hard mode in Destiny. I decided to go ahead and do this because a lot of people have requested that I actually do a full walkthrough of the raid, and I decided let's go ahead and do the hard mode raid because, I mean, the normal raid at this point is pretty irrelevant. Nobody really cares about it. I'm sure most people have completed it, if not everybody. And a lot of people are probably more interested in the hard mode raid. So this walkthrough will help you out, especially if you're maybe level 29. The first thing I need to say is I would not recommend attempting to do this raid if you're level 28. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can say I have beaten it as a level 28. That's all good, but in my opinion, I think you should wait until you are at least level 29 to attempt the raid. You can get 29 with just normal gear, and that means 0 raid gear. You don't need any raid gear to actually get level 29. I believe you need 1 exotic armor piece. But yeah, so wait till you're level 29 and then you can attempt this raid with your friends. Because when we started, we were all level 29. We had 6 level 29s, 0 level 30s. Now, because we've completed it so many times, I believe 5 of us in this gameplay is going to be level 30 and 1 person is level 29. But a lot of times when we do this, we actually do it with 6 level 30s. And we have completed this hard mode raid now 16 times. So, yeah, we're pretty experienced with actually getting it done and getting it done quick. And there's a lot of little secrets. I guess some of these things won't really be secrets, but they're little exploits you can do to make it a lot easier. Because there's really only 2 parts in the entire raid, especially on hard, that I would consider to be somewhat challenging, especially your first time through. And the very first part that will totally kick your ass is this part, the Confluxes. Now you might be wondering, why did I cut out the opening of the door? Well, that part really doesn't matter. The hard mode raid doesn't actually start until you get to the Confluxes, because this is the point where all the enemies will become level 30. On the outside, when you're opening the door, they're all level 26, so that's just like the normal raid, and it's really irrelevant, it's whatever. So this is the part that will actually kick your ass. Now, this part is really annoying. The main problem with this part is the fact that it's really long. It can take you about 9 to 10 minutes to complete this entire part, because you have to kill all these enemies, it's on a timer, and you have to go through 3 waves of enemies, and you have to defend 3 separate spawning points of these Confluxes. The first one is in the central area, the second one is the left and right, and the final one is all 3 will spawn. But the setup should always be the same. You should always have 2 people in the back defending the central one, 2 people on the left defending the left one, and 2 people on the right defending the right one. Now, I'm on the right in this video, and my partner is my buddy C-Mac. So, generally, when I'm like on the right with another person, I just primarily talk to them. I don't try to call out for everyone else or anything like that. If I need help, I'll say, hey, C-Mac, can you help me? Or I'll throw out my bubble or something, because I'm playing as a Titan. I'll say, oh, I'm throwing out the bubble if you need a shield, C-Mac. So I really just communicate with my partner. And that's, important, is to know, like, who are you going to work well with and what to put on each side. Like, for example, we have a Titan on the left and a Warlock on the left. I'm a Titan on the right, and I have a Warlock with me on the right. We have a Hunter in the back, and we have a Warlock in the back. So that is our setup right now, because, honestly, 2 Titans being on the right wouldn't be a good idea. Or 2 Titans on the left, or 2 Titans in the back. None of that would be a good idea. You want to spread out those bubbles if you have Titans. And I think that Hunters really do a good job in the central area, because they can kill the enemies on spawn. They can constantly use Golden Gun and just snipe all the enemies with their power. So that is a really good place for a Hunter. Warlocks can really go anywhere. And if you have never completed the hard raid, if you're a Warlock, you really shouldn't have, it really isn't that difficult, especially if you know a lot of people who are Warlocks, because, the main difference between the normal raid and the hard raid, besides the level, of course, is the fact that if you die, you can't get up. So as a Titan or a Hunter, if you die, well, you're going to be sitting there for quite a while, waiting for your teammates to either all die or to complete the wave and get a checkpoint, because once they get the checkpoint, you can respawn But like this part is really annoying because if you die right away, normally what I would say is that if you're doing this, if anyone dies like right away in the first wave, just reset. Everyone just jump off the map, reset, and try again. Because the more people that you have die, like if you have one person die in the first wave and let's say 2 people die on the second wave, that third wave is going to kick your ass. And it's going to be a giant waste of time. People are going to be bored and not really interested in playing anymore. A lot of times people quit. They give up, you know, because they just get bored. They get tired of attempting the same thing over and over again. So resetting it is a good idea just to keep people more interested, because if they're playing, they're going to be more interested than if they're dead and they're just sitting there watching people play. So that's one thing I would say. But normally when we do this part, we don't really have a problem because we all understand, like, you know, how to do each side. Like I know how to do the right side really well, and like my buddies on the left, they know what they're doing on the left. The people in the back, they know what they're doing in the back. But primarily, you just want to try to kill the enemies on spawn. If you are in the central area, you're going to have all these guys coming up from the bottom, and as long as you know like which doors that they spawn at, you can kill them right as they come out. On the left, there's like doors that they can come out that you can kill them right away on spawn. They also will spawn in the top middle area, so you have to watch out for that because they can come up and flank you if you're on the left side. On the right side, they come out of this cave that you will constantly see me go into and kill enemies. And they will, of course, be coming from this top middle part. See, the top middle part basically will have enemies spawn, and some of them will go on the left, some of them will go on the right. The ones that go on the right will go up the stairs. The one that goes on the left, they do not go up any stairs. They just walk over there. So you have to constantly keep that in mind. So what I like to do is that if I'm on the right, I'll have one person, and in this case it's me, kill all the enemies in the cave. Like that's just really my job, is just to focus on the cave. I let C-Mac deal with the enemies coming up the stairs or to shoot the enemies in the top middle area. And occasionally I will run over there, I'll throw out my bubble for him and myself, and I will also help him out if I can. And occasionally he will run to the cave and he'll shoot some of the enemies and help me out. It just really depends on if there's any spawns. You know, if all the enemies are dead in the top mid for a second, he can help me. If all my enemies are dead, I can help him. Same deal with the left side. You know, one person can be killing the enemies coming out the door that will spawn. The other one can be focusing more on the middle area. So that's just what you do. And of course, the 2 people in the central area, they need to just be focusing on the central area and killing the enemies that will spawn there. Now, eventually, Minotaurs will spawn. And as a level 29, Minotaurs are kind of a bitch because they can, like, I think they can 2 or 3 shot you. As a level 30, this really does become a lot easier. Like, if you want to know, like, what weapons I'm using the Atheon's Epilogue for my assault rifle. I'm using the Light/Beware for my fusion rifle. It's Void, which is good against Vex. It will pretty consistently one-shot them, but that is only because I'm level 30. When I was level 29, I could never one-shot any of these enemies. I would always have to take 2 shots, but it was still a really good gun because I could shoot them, pull out my assault rifle, finish them off, or shoot them with my assault rifle and pull out my fusion rifle and finish them off. So overall, it's really great. Now, my main weapon, really, to be quite honest, my favorite weapon in the entire game is the Gjallarhorn. I love this rocket launcher I have. It is so good, especially... See, at the end of each wave, you're going to have the Templar summon his legions, which really means fanatics and harpies. And the harpies are super fucking annoying. They have a lot of health. They're really not like that good offensively. Like, they will shoot you and they can kill you, so don't doubt that for a minute. But they are kind of dumb, you know. They just kind of like roam around and they just tank it up. And you have to put a lot of bullets into them. So I really love the Gjallarhorn for taking them out. And the Gjallarhorn is such a great heavy weapon for taking out any boss level enemy. If you're talking about a Minotaur, Praetorian, Atheon himself, I mean, you can kill Atheon super quick. Now right there, I just switched over to the Icebreaker. And if you have a Vision of Confluence, that's another great gun. That's a scout rifle from the raid. But what we're going to do is we're about to switch over to the Oracle part. And we are all resetting, jumping off the cliff, killing ourselves, because you can actually exploit this part. And what you have to do is everyone needs to kill themselves, and then one person has to hop down to the central area, and that will spawn the oracles. the rest of the people can actually sit up top at the starting spawn and snipe the oracles. So a weapon like the icebreaker is really great because it has like unlimited ammo, because the ammo will recharge. But if you have any decent sniper rifle, you should be okay. And the setup for this is very simple. You want to have 3 people on the right side and 2 people on the left side, and obviously 1 person who will run to the bottom. Now the person who runs to the bottom can hide if he wants to or she wants to. They can hide in the area where the troll chest will spawn, the one with the spirit bloom. And if they hide in there, none of the enemies will kill them. Or they could just literally hop down and just jump off. Like, it doesn't really matter. As long as they spawn the oracles, that's really all they need to do. And the people at the top, they will be the ones killing the oracles. Now, you might be wondering, why exploit this part? Well, this part is one of the most challenging parts in the entire raid, because especially if you're level 29. I would definitely recommend doing this as a level 29. Maybe not as a level 30, but as a 29, it is super annoying doing the oracle part, because there's a lot of snipers. The snipers can like 2 to 3 shot you. There's minotaurs. You know, you have to kill the oracles. It's really frustrating, and it's a really long and tedious part, especially if you're dying. It's a nightmare. So this strategy, this exploit, makes it so much easier. But let me go ahead and get back to the setup. So like I said, you need 3 people on the right, 2 people on the left. Now, the reason why there's 3 on the right is because there's more oracles to kill on the right. The worst one is the one in the very back left, and I will call it out when I see it. But that one we call the troll spot, because that one is super annoying to hit. And see, what we do is we have one person sit where I'm sitting. I'm like crouching right now. I have my buddy Envy right behind me. He's just standing right behind me. And me and him, we can hit essentially the same oracles. So anything I can see in front of me, I can hit. He can hit it as well. And my friend Wise Noob is sitting on the right of me. And his whole job is just to deal with that troll spot. And we did just take it out, but it was super quick, so I really didn't have the chance to call it out. But you will see it if you're watching the video, although this is sped up. If you're wondering like what's going on, I did decide to speed up this part because this is a really boring strategy, but it's a lot better, trust me, than actually going down there and getting sniped at by a billion snipers and fighting minotaurs and shit. Alright, now this time I'll call it out for sure. There it is. That's the troll spot. See, you can barely hit it where I'm sitting. Now Wise, because he's on the right of me, he can actually see it a lot better than me. But me and Envy, we really can't do it. Well, we really can't hit it. Now there's a total of 7 waves for these oracles. A lot of people say 6 waves, but I say 7 waves because, I don't know, it's like confusing. Basically, like, they'll spawn once and then they spawn again, and I guess technically that's the first wave, is after they spawn the first 2 times. But if you actually sit there and count them, it's like 7 waves of it. And like I said, it's just really boring and tedious to do this, but this is the very first reward that you'll get for the hard raid. So, you know, this is the point which it becomes easy, because you can, after the Confluxes, that is the make or break moment. If you can't beat that part with your team, then you're gonna have to like figure out what to do. Maybe get more people or new people, or I don't know, like come up with a better strategy, or figure out like what works for everyone, like put, you know, different people in different sides or something. But if you can't beat that part, then you're really screwed. But once you beat the Confluxes, then it's really easy from that point on. There's only one other part that would probably be a little bit challenging, because this part you can exploit. The next part, the Templar boss fight, you can exploit, and that's really easy. The maze area, well, you know, that's an annoying area, but it's not like, you know, hard or challenging. You just have to like know what you're doing, and you can get it done really easily. The jumping puzzle is nothing, and of course, after that you have to spawn Atheon, and then you have to fight Atheon. Now, so that's the end of it right there. You know that you're done because the very final one will spawn in the middle, and now it's just time to dance and get our reward. Alright, so the next part is going to be the Templar cheese. Now, I already made a video about this. This is really easy, but I would recommend switching your weapons back, whatever you are comfortable with. and you like using, because I love the Icebreaker, but I need the Gjallarhorn. Also, if you're playing as a Titan, you need to switch over to the Pulse Nades. And if you're playing as a Warlock, you need to switch your build up. You need Radiant Will, which will increase the duration of your Radiance. You need Song of Flame for this moment. That will help a lot. And of course, you need Solar Grenades. Now, this is at normal speed. I sped it up for the Oracle part, but this point is going to be normal speed so you can see what we're doing. But basically, we have 3 Warlocks in this game, and they're all going to take turns using their special. So I believe Snide went first, then C-Mac went second, and Arc goes last. And because of Song of Flame, that's going to increase the recharge ability of everyone's grenades so that we can just chuck a lot of grenades. And we have basically the one Hunter who's going to hold the shield because he has no grenade that can push this guy off. The 2 Titans to have the pulse grenades to help push him off. And if you have the Armatarian, that's the chest piece, it allows you to have an additional grenade. That will really help. And, of course, the Warlocks will also be able to just keep throwing their solar grenades to help push them off. But it takes a little bit to do this, but if you stand on the bottom right side where we're standing, or the left side, it doesn't really matter. Just stand on one of these sides, and everyone, basically you will clump up together. Then you can chuck these grenades, and you can use this for cover too, because the Templar can kill you really quick if you're not careful. But yeah, you want to use the wall for cover and just chuck your grenades. Aim for the center. That's the key thing, is that if you aim like for the left or right, then his direction might like turn, and he might start going in random weird directions. But if you're just aiming for his face, with every grenade, he should eventually fall off, and that's it. So Oracle part is easy because you can exploit it. Templar fight is easy because you can exploit it. The maze part, well, that part is kind of annoying, but it's not really hard. But the next part that's going to be somewhat challenging will be the part before Atheon. Alright, so what I'm going to do real quick is I went ahead and I switched my build back. I took Striker off and I put back on Defender. I put Weapons of Light on because I'm going to need that for the Atheon boss fight. And I can also use it for the part before Atheon. Now I'm going to speed this part up as well because this is the maze. We are just working our way down to the bottom. We're going to get the bonus chest. Although, honestly, there's really no point to grab it. If you need energies or shards, and yeah, you definitely want to grab it. But we really don't need it at this point. And I hate this chest. It's a troll chest because it's just energy or shards every time. I would think that they would have gave you a chance to get like an exotic or, some type of raid armor or something. But they didn't do that, which is really disappointing to me, but it's whatever. But yeah, so basically we're just going to work our way down, and then I'll point it out like when you get to the moment where you need to go get the secret bonus challenge chest. It's right here. You just make a right, and then you crouch through the wall, and the chest is right over here. And just wait for everyone to get close and then open it up. I believe this chest does disappear. So if you open that up right away, I'm not 100% on that, but at least I've been told that that chest can disappear, which is really, really lame. Now the good chest is right down here. This is the one that can have exotics and stuff in it. So I love this chest. I've gotten a lot of great things out of it, but this time, no, I did not. I only got 6 shards, which is lame. And if you're wondering, like, why am I getting like double the rewards? It's because I never played the normal raid. So if you just do the hard raid, you will get 2 rewards, and you will not just get 1, you will get 2. And you never have to do the normal raid. Now the second chest, we're not even going to bother grabbing. Although normally we will go and grab it, but it's just not worth it. The second chest is always either energies and shards. So because we don't need it, just screw it. But this is what we do to make this part easier. We always let our hunter, which is Envy, and he's really good at this, we let him do the maze because he knows exactly what he's doing. For the hard mode raid, you actually do need to jump on some rocks and stuff because there is way more Gorgons than on the normal raid. And it's a real bitch. So having the one guy go by himself is way better because if you try to have everyone go with you, then the chances of getting caught is extremely high. It's really not worth it. It's best to just send a hunter that can maybe turn invisible or just somebody who knows what they're doing. They know how to get past this part easily. Let them do it by themselves. Everyone else leaves, and once they make it, they just can invite everyone back, or everyone can just rejoin. And that's what I'm about to do right now. I'm about to promote Envy to leader, and I'm about to leave myself. I suck at doing the maze, so I want no part of it. Alright, so the next part's going to be the jumping puzzle, which is extremely easy. I think everybody should know how to do this by now, but you just let the first thing spawn, and once it spawns, you jump to this. You land on it, you wait for the second one to spawn, you jump to that, you land on it. Then you wait for the third one to spawn, you jump on that, and then finally you can jump to the bottom. Now, unfortunately, one of our guys is going to die trying to make the final jump, which always sucks if that happens because then you're going to have to wait on the person. But, you know, it's really whatever. It's not a big deal. But I will speed up the video right now to save some time because, you know, there's been times where I've sat here at the door for like 5 minutes because people, they just didn't know how to do the jumps. Now, we all know how to do the jumps, but a lot of times there can be mistakes by someone accidentally going too far or just falling or whatever. Happens all the time, so it's not a big deal. And we're just going to have some fun, punch each other, and dance, and here we go. So now we're in the respawning restricted area. Now, this is a great place to get money, so if you want to use like one of those things to help build up Glimmer, you can right now. But this part is a real bitch. Now, the first thing is that because there's 6 of us, I say in the beginning, send 3 guys on the right, 3 guys on the left, and you really need to kill all the snipers, all the armored enemies. Once they're dead, then you can focus on the actual Gatekeeper. Now, once you kill the Gatekeeper, though, I recommend going into the left portal first because the left portal is the harder portal. The right portal isn't as hard. So, this is what you do. Because we're not there yet in the video, but I really need to try to explain this now. But once the Gatekeeper's dead, because killing him is the easy part. This guy is really simple to kill. Once he's dead, you open up the portal, and then what we like to do is send 3 people inside. And this time it's going to be me, Envy, and my buddy Wise Noob. Envy's going to grab the shield once we kill the Gatekeeper inside, and I'm just going to shoot some rockets and cover him. And Wise is going to come in to help clean up the Gatekeeper. Once we're done with that, then we're all going to run back outside, try to help the people on the outside. And what Envy does right here, which is smart, is he will just jump up really high and just fly across to avoid any other enemies that might be there, like the Praetorians. We don't even take the time to kill the Praetorians. We just focus down the Gatekeeper right away. He starts running up there right away. He grabs the shield, then he starts running back. And like I said, I try to provide a little bit of covering fire, but then I run out. And I think I'm going to use a heavy ammo pack. Now, the people on the outside, because this is important to know. Once you grab the shield, that's when the Conflux in the middle will spawn. And like 10 seconds later, Minotaurs will start to spawn. So what Snide does is that he will stay on the left side, and he'll kill some of the enemies that will be spawning on the left. And then the other 2 guys will stay on the right side, guarding this portal. You know, because if the Vex actually take the portal, then they will lock us inside, and, you know, you'll probably fail. A Oracle can spawn, and it's a whole bunch of nonsense. So you don't want the Vex to take it. So we have 2 people defend the portal, and 1 person go on the other side. Once we get the shield, though, then Snide will go to the middle. Like right now, Snide's in the middle, and he's killing Minotaurs. And we have 1 guy on the left, and we have 2 guys on the right. And me and Envy are in this portal. We don't send 3 people into this one because Envy with the shield can get his super. If he has his super, that super does a lot of damage from the shield to the Gatekeeper. And then it just takes me like a couple missiles to kill the Gatekeeper. Then I run up, I will grab the second shield, and Envy will stay with me to make sure I can see, to cleanse me and stuff. And then we both run out. But like I said, so we have 2 people fighting Praetorians on the outside of this portal, this right portal, and we have 1 guy on the left portal killing goblins and hobgoblins. So that's basically the setup. It's really complicated, but it's really not that bad. This part's really easy if you have the setup right and everyone's doing what they are meant to be doing. Now, when you get to this part, you're going to have to kill Praetorians. And what we realized really early on is that if the 2 shield guys actually jump the Praetorians, because at first, you know, we would like split up. 1 guy would go on one side, the other guy would go on the other side. That's no good because the Praetorians can kill you super quick if you're like the only guy attacking the Praetorian, and you have a shield, because if you die, then you drop the relic, and your teammates have to go and grab it. So it's better for the shield guys to just jump these dudes, because you just stun lock them to death. They cannot really do anything. Now, if you do knock them back in the portal, which has happened in this run, and it does happen a lot, you don't want that to happen, because they will actually go invisible, and then they can, like, just magically start sacrificing themselves. So you have to watch out for that. Try not to knock them back in the portal. And if you do knock them back in the portal, just call it out and be prepared that they're going to start sacrificing. Alright, right here I'm just checking to see like if that arm piece was good or not. I didn't really like it all that much. You know, it's not bad though. And now it is the Atheon boss fight. Now, I've done a video in the past talking about, like, you know, going inside the portal, what to do, killing the oracles, fighting the enemies, using the shield, all that. So I'm just going to go ahead and provide a link in the description to that video, because I talk a lot about going inside the portals in that video if you're interested. Now, this time, I am never sucked in, because it used to be, before they fixed this, because I guess it was a glitch. At least they said it was a glitch, but I always liked it. It was a good glitch in my opinion. Sometimes, you know, in games there's like good glitches, and you just kind of think like, why would they fix that? That was a good glitch. But basically what they did is that they made it so that you can no longer like determine who will be sucked into the portals. It used to be that if you just put like 3 people in the back, those 3 people will keep getting sucked in. And I'm not really used to being on the outside, to be quite honest. Like, I'm pretty new to this, because I've always been one to go into the portals, but it's really whatever. What I do on the outside is I just listen for the call out, and I will open up the portal for them. And generally, the main thing you want to do is just to have one guy on the right portal, one guy on the left portal killing supplicants, one guy opening the portal, and you just hope that the people on the inside can kill all the oracles and get out in time. And once you get your times of vengeance, or your times vengeance, then you can start fucking them up. And now this part's really easy, especially if you have a Titan with weapons of light, and if you have multiple Gallahorns. I think in this video, we have 3 Gallahorns shooting him. So that's why he's dying so fast. And I did a video like this before, showing how fast we can kill him. And we had 3 Gallahorns. So imagine if we had 6 Gallahorns. If everyone had a Gallahorn, I would think that you could kill them in one portal trip. That would be it. I mean, that would be insane, but I really do think that that would be possible. So that is something I want to eventually show or try if I can ever, you know, get enough people with Gallahorns in one group, just to see if it's possible to kill him in one portal attempt. But he dies really fast. Atheon is a really easy boss. He's always been an easy boss. Now, I do need to say this because I know people are going to comment, but yes, you can still cheese Atheon. There is a new way to do it. You can look it up. I have never done it. I never even cheesed them the old way, because we never needed to. Even when we were all level 29, we never needed to cheese Atheon. But there you go. That is the hard raid. I really hope this video has helped you out, help you understand like how to actually beat this raid really easily. If it has, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video for me. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day, and peace out.